In part 1 of my Celebrity Cruise blog, the focus was on the ship itself. This blog will focus on the shore excursions, beginning with Catania, Italy, Valletta, Malta, Santorini, and then Athens, Greece. With it raining in Catania, staying on the ship was really tempting, but since I'd never been there before, I thought I'd go ashore to look. For sure, the weather in Catania wasn't the typical sunny day shown in Mediterranean travel brochures, but I still wanted to see what the city had to offer. I soon discovered that Catania was a fairly small and relatively quiet Italian town with many shops, restaurants, and interesting things to see. Although there were lots of tourists there wasn't the hustle and bustle that one would typically experience at the Trevi Fountain in Rome or St. Mark's Square in Venice. After walking around for a while, and much to our delight, the rain stopped, at least for the time being. The merchants were really disappointed that the rain stopped because the people who had sought refuge in their shops were now back in the streets. The more I walked and saw, the more I thought that Catania would be a really great getaway place, the kind of place you might go for a honeymoon or to have a little downtime from a hectic workload. The town was big enough to have everything and small enough to allow you to get to all of these things in 1 or 2 days. The biggest must-see site in Catania is the ancient Roman amphitheater, which is currently undergoing a massive renovation and will host many big outdoor events when it's completed. And because of its elevation, the amphitheater gave us a perfect view of the town below. So after about a 3-hour visit, it was time to return to the ship. I now know what Catania has, and I was pleased by what I saw and experienced. After returning to the ship, we freshened up a little and then got some daytime entertainment, and later that evening had more entertainment indoors. So the next morning, we arrived at Valletta, Malta. Valletta is Malta's capital and principal cultural center with its unique collection of churches, palaces, and museums. It has a population of only 6,500, but it hosts many times that number of tourists each year. Since tourism is really important here, we were greeted by a 13-piece brass band as we exited the ship. Our first stop was at a place called the Blue Grotto Caverns and a small fishing town that featured a great view of a little flat uninhabited island called the Filfa. This town's only purpose is as a port for boats that take tourists to the Blue Grotto Caverns, and it's a location that attracts fishermen from neighboring cities. Next, we traveled to the town of Marsalak, which is a small traditional fishing village in the southeastern region of Malta. It has a harbor and is a tourist attraction known for its picturesque views, fishermen, and history. The village population is 3,500, and it's also known for the Marsalak Market, which is a large fish market which takes place along the seafront on Sundays. It becomes a tourist market during the other days of the week, and clearly it wasn't a fish market the day we were there.
Those are all made of
From Marsalak, we traveled back to my favorite, Malta's capital city, Valletta. There we visited some of the historical buildings and were told about the long and complex history of this sun-drenched city. Established in the 1500s on a peninsula by the Knights of St. John, a Roman Catholic order, the city had a really impressive seaport. Because the day was clear, we could see our ship, the Celebrity Edge, in the background. Later, we returned to the ship, and in the evening, we were treated to more dance and music at the bar and in the theater. So grab a seat and enjoy. By the way, in most theaters, you're warned not to take pictures or videos during the performances. But Celebrity specifically requested that we should take pictures and record the pictures and upload them to the internet. They've realized that this is absolutely free advertising for their really high quality productions. Our next port was Santorini, which is one of the Greek islands in the Aegean Sea. It was devastated by a volcanic eruption in the 16th century BC, and because of its shallow waters, we had to tender to the shore on a smaller boat. Once on shore, there were 3 ways to get to the heart of Santorini: vehicular, donkey, or on foot. I took the vehicular. Once on top of the mountain, we had a great view of our ship. Most of the houses in Santorini are painted white. These houses overlook the sea's small islands to the west and the beaches, which are made of black, red, and white lava pebbles. This island is one of the must-see locations if you're planning a Mediterranean cruise. As you can see, we have nothing like this in the States. As you might expect, there are numerous quaint shops for those who want to contribute to the local economy. We managed to be among the first from the ship to arrive, so fortunately for my wallet, many of the shops weren't yet open. While leisurely strolling through the city, I visited a few beautiful, charming churches. I could have stayed in Santorini all day, but I wanted to get back to the ship before Santorini was teeming with tourists. And since we were among the first to return to the ship, we had the tender boats to ourselves. Once back on the ship, you guessed it, more entertainment. The last port I'll discuss in this blog is Athens. Since I reported on Athens in a previous blog, we skipped the city center this time and instead leisurely sailed down a man-made river that connects the Gulf of Corinth to the Saronic Gulf in Greece. This is the Corinth Canal, but it should be renamed the Lazy River, and it's a really nice way to spend a sunny afternoon. So after lunch on the Lazy River, it was back to the ship for a little sun therapy, followed by an evening of entertainment in the main theater. So thanks for joining us in Catania, Italy, Valletta, Malta, Santorini, and the Corinth Canal in Greece. Will any of these locations be in your travel plans? I sure hope so. In our final part of this Mediterranean cruise, we'll visit Mykonos, several other islands in Greece, Capri, and then disembark in Rome. I'll see you next month.